All right, the last piece to rig on our character is going to be the attacking animation. So his little sword slash. We're going to do that the same way that we did the rest of the states. And so when we look at our sprite sheet, for example, when we open up our sprite sheet and we zoom into this thing, we see that there are basically three frames for the attack motion. I guess the easiest way to see that is maybe from the naming of the sprite sheet. So, like east idle position, east attack 1, 2, and 3. So he lifts his sword and then he brings his sword down. Whack. Like so. Let's go ahead and start rigging that up. In this direction, he has 3 frames. Attack 1, 2, and 3. We started with east because that's just at the beginning of this list here. Next we can go north. Attack 1, 2, 3. Northeast. Attack 1, 3, and all the way around. Okay, so now that we have rigged up all the directions, all the frames for the directions, we need to create the animation. Animation window. On our player, we need to create the new clip. This one's going to be attack. We add our same 2 properties. It needs to be sprite manager current frame and sprite manager current state index. We're going to bring this one in by a lot. We really only want, this one is 3 frames, so we can do it like so. Okay, so this is the 1 second mark with 3 samples. We're going to add a key for the, remember the thing we're animating is current frame, mainly. And our current state index has to be set to number 3 for this. We select these ones here at the bottom. We can even use the curves view, whichever way you want to do it. It needs to be set to 3. Okay, so see, when you do it from the dope sheet, it doesn't actually do both. I guess you do have to do it from here. Select just this piece, and now you modify both. So you only select the things that you're modifying. That's set. That's set. Okay. And now we're going to start animating the keyframes of the actual animation. The first one has to start on 0. Frame 1 is 0. Next is going to be 1. And then 2. And then for continuity, that needs this last piece to stay at 2. All right, so we have that. in our scene, we're going to go ahead and preview this. Whack. And there it is. We're going to go around all the directions just to make sure that it's doing it correctly. Yep. Okay. That looks very good. We can close this. Close this. All right, now we have to set up our animator piece. Remember, we always have to set up the animator transitions. So when we created the new animation, it added this new state here to our animator, but nothing is hooked up to it yet. And at this point, we basically want everything to be able to transition to our attack motion when our attack has started. And again, so basically these are parameters that you can create and set in whatever manner you like. However, they do have to correspond to, scripts that are called player controllers. Well, they're not called that. They're still just a mono behavior on a game object. But these are going to be your controllers that control your actual actions and that tell your animator what to do through commands like these. So animator set boolean of whatever. So this is what I've defined them to be already. Attack started, is grounded, etc. And then these are further controlled through further scripting, that handles everything per frame as things happen in the game. So because we're trying to use my existing script, that's basically where we have to stick to the naming conventions of these parameters. So the attack started from walking as he's walking. If the attack started and he's walking, then we want to transition to attack when the attack started. And that's true. Same for idle. Attack started. True. Same with jump. Attack started is true. Let's go ahead and clean up these transitions before we create the exit transitions. 0. So no exit time, no fixed durations. No transition durations. Okay, now we can work on the return transitions. So we want him to... Okay, so this one we're going to say does have an exit time. The exit time is whenever the animation is complete. So after he finishes slashing, then he can go back to looking like he's walking. But there's no fixed duration. These things need to snap instantly after they're finished. As exit time is 1, fixed duration. As exit time is 1. These can probably be turned off. Okay. Well, so now that we've set that up, let's see if that works the way that we intended it to work. Okay, so we have our character. He's doing a slash animation. So it's doing it, but it's not, it's very, very slow. So the next piece that we can work on is and where did my attack animation get added to? Let's find him. Okay, here we go. So it put it in a weird folder because we weren't careful about the folder that it put our animation in. So we're going to drag that over into our animations folder so that everything is in the same place. There he is. All right, and here we can increase. Okay, on the actual animation, there's multiple ways to do this. So we have a few more settings that we're going to have to set on this guy. First is, oh, and I guess I have to fix the other animations as well. We want to loop time. Okay, so we don't want loop time to be set on things like idle and jump. For walk, we do want to loop time. So this is selecting the actual animations. And for attack, we don't want to loop time on attack either. When we click on the state, we can be pretty happy with the speed of these states, except for attack. Attack needs to happen a lot more quickly. So the speed needs to be something like maybe, let's see what happens at 2x speed. Okay, so it's a little bit faster. Okay, what happens when we do 3 times? 3 looks pretty good. But then my controller script has this little built-in piece where when he does the attack, he also stops for a second so that he can do his slash and then he can continue moving. So even if you're moving, like he'll do a brief stop while he's doing the slash animation. So we don't want him to look like he's still slashing when he starts moving. So that's why you want to make the speed of the animation be fast enough so that the various motions kind of match up. And that's looks pretty much like it's doing it. Okay. And we also have rigged this up so that even when he's jumping, he can still do his slash motion when he's jumping. And then, of course, when he's jumping and slashing, he doesn't need to stop in midair. He needs to keep, continuing with the follow through there. Boom. All right. And that's how we rig up a character.